You know what the Japanese love the most? Cute cats? Anime? Being overworked? Well, according to the literature, the thing they love the most is inaction. And as a master in Japanese literature, let me talk about it. But first, let me get some books. Yeah, so I took some books from my bookshelf, and this is all Japanese literature. But I will talk about many free books. It will be like Maihime. The English title is The Dancing Girl, if I'm not mistaken, by Mori Ogai, which is in this anthology. I will be talking about Kokoro by Natsume Soseki, and I will be talking about 個人的の事件. This is a personal matter, I guess, by Oe Kenzaburo. So let's find out what will happen if you don't act, if you just let other people decide for you. And I will start with this classic Maihime by Mori Ogai, which is like one of my favorite Japanese short stories. I even write my bachelor thesis on. What is the story about? There is a guy called Ota Toyotaro, and this Ota Toyotaro comes to Germany from Japan as an exchange student for his great achievements in an economic matter. And he is sad. He is sad because he is being controlled, both by his parents wanting you to do it, wanting you to become a walking encyclopedia. He was studying law, if I am correct. I guess I am. Both government and parents want him to become a robot, basically. Not a human with his own desires, but a machine on reading, and like a lawyer of some kind. And he is sad about it. And he is alone in Germany. People from Japan don't like him because he's kind of a nerdy guy. And people from Germany also don't like him because he's like a Japanese. He's different from them. And he is depressed, really. But one day he meets this girl, this dancing girl from the title, and he falls in love with her. And this is probably the first thing in life he does because he wants to. This is the first thing he does that is not taught by his mother, by government, by school, by teachers, but he really wants it. So he decides to help this girl, and then she falls in love with him, and there is this kind of a love story going on. School stopped giving him money by that, but he's kind of happy. He's much more happier than he was before meeting this girl. But his old life comes to him in a form of his old friend called Aizawa Kenkichi. It was, I guess, Aizawa. I am sure of that. And he proposes him a job of being a translator from Russian, I guess, to a count, to a Japanese count. And he tries it to earn money to try to support him and his girlfriend right now. But and he is working in this count, and this count proposes him a job when he returns to Japan. Yeah, and he agrees because he's too scared to say no to this count, even if this kind of situation and nothing happened really yet with this girl. Then maybe I understand him saying that there is nothing that keeps him here in Germany. But later, when his girl gets pregnant, and his friend Aizawa and the Count are trying to make him go to the Japan, and he's not saying anything on his defense. He's not trying to defend himself, saying that the situation changed and I can't really do it right now. He's just accepting that, well, his life was chosen by him. Again, by Count, by Aizawa, by like the Japanese government again. And finally, after being depressed, after fainting and sleeping for 2 weeks, I guess, falling ill, he returns to Japan and leaves his girl alone, pregnant. And she gets a mental breakdown and she goes to a mental hospital. And what did he do? Did he regret it? Well, yes, but he doesn't blame himself. He blames his friend, Aizawa, at the end. So this is probably the story many people can relate to but don't want to relate to. That their life is being dictated by their parents, the teachers, the government, the people around them, the society. And when something tragic happens out of it, that they are like doing it. They don't have to do it. They don't have to comply to them. They do it anyway. And when something bad happens, like in this case, Ota leaving his girl, he blames other people. He blames like the people blame economy. People blame like landlords. People blame other people. People blame weather, God, whatever it is. People blame it because they don't want to acknowledge that they are the one that are wrong, and then not everything around them. So yeah, what can we learn from this story? Don't be a marionette. Don't be a puppet of the government, teachers, and your parents, because only bad things will come from it, and you will live a really like unsatisfied. You will be really unsatisfied with your life then. So that was Maihime by Mori Ogai. I recommend you giving it a read. There is an audiobook on YouTube if it was not removed. So now let's move to the second thing, Kokora, which is like the second most popular book in Japan. And what is it about? It is also about inaction, and it is also about authority, the other thing I don't like as much as inaction. So the main hero of the story is a student, and he finds a sensei, a person who he calls sensei, which is like a teacher, and this teacher poses to be an authority and influences this young guy. What do we learn about the sensei himself? It's in the end of the book, at the end of the book. Well, sensei liked a girl he was living with, but he did not have courage to say so. And then his friend, who was far more like sane person, came living with him, and he also liked this girl. And his friend, he was named Kei, by the way, he also like he was getting fond of this girl, but he had courage to like say it, to acknowledge it. And he was even like asking sensei earlier if he's interested in that girl, and he said no, I am not, because he was a fucking coward, and I hate this character really. And as a result, he like made a scheme to get this friend out of the equation, because, well, he didn't have to do this. He could have just said that he was interested in that girl and Kei would resign. But now that Kei was in love with this girl too, he kind of made a scheme with her mother that he will marry her, sensei. And so Kei like was faced with this fact, and he killed himself. He killed himself because of like sensei not being a sane person, not being a courageous person, being just a coward. And he also dies by committing suicide by it was a story that happened like 20 years ago or so, and he was living a life of regret all this time. Yeah, and well, finally at the end of the book he kills himself. And this is the story that is also not so different from lives of many people in our world, not the world of literature, that people do something, that they fuck up by not being courageous enough to say something or to do something, to take action. And then when something bad happens, they live in regret for all of their lives. Maybe they don't kill themselves that much, but they live in regret. And this is probably even worse than killing themselves, or probably the same tier of bad lives. So yeah, Kokoro teaches us that you should just act. Many of the misunderstanding we have in our words could be avoided just by having this tiny bit of courage and saying what we want to do, saying what we really want, and not waiting for some tragic thing to happen so we can regret about it for the rest of our lives. Yeah, and the last book I will be talking about in more details in this video is A Personal Matter by Oe Kenzaburo, which is a book disliked by many Japanese, and when it came out it was criticized by many Japanese. Why? Because the main character at the end decides for himself, and he chooses action over inaction. And this is what made Japanese angry about this book. So what is this book about? There is this guy that we meet who is kind of a coward. He's really a coward. He's referred to as a bird, and his child is born deformed. It has some kind of a deformity and illness, and he doesn't know what it is. And everyone, like his past girlfriend, like the dad of his wife, and surgeons, like doctors, everyone is telling him to kill this child, like to take it and put it out of its misery. And well, he decides to do it. And all the book is all about him making this decision. And it wasn't really his decision. It was like everyone trying to make him do it, and he complies to other people. And he's at the point of, like, near the point of no return. But at the end of the book, it is like few pages, like 5 pages maybe, of the 200 pages book. He finally makes a decision for himself, and he decides to spare this child, to take it back to the hospital and to save it. And at the end, it turns out the deformity was not that bad, and the child will live happily. And this is like a real story, really, because the Personal Matter is written based on Oe Kenzaburo's life. So this is a strong book. I really recommend it, even though I kind of spoiled it for you, but I still recommend reading all these books I was talking about in this video. But the Personal Matter is something different in Japanese literature, because many characters, like Sensei from Kokoro and Ota Toyotaro from My Hime, or you probably know this book, which is called No Longer Human by Dazai Osamu. The Yo-chan, the main hero of this story, also chooses inaction and being influenced by other people, or many other well-known Japanese books, like The Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, and many other books in Japanese literature. Like, the main character is a coward, and they are doing what other people tell them to. And in this book, A Personal Matter, hero decides for himself, and this is what triggered Japanese critics. Japanese readers. Yeah. So what can we learn from this book? Decide for yourself. Stop the inaction and live the life the way you want. Not the other people tell you, not your teachers, your parents, like anyone, society at all telling you what to do. Don't listen to them. Just do what you think is right. And by doing it, you won't regret it. You will regret only inaction. Be a main hero of your life. Decide for yourself. So yeah, I kinda like use my degree. Yeah, I kinda like was talking about what my papers tells me that I am a master in. So maybe going to university was not such a mistake. So if you want more of these videos that I will be talking about, like Japanese literature and fear, I guess, because this is the main topic of this channel, leave a like or something. And if you want to gain support from me, maybe book recommendations, you can get to you can join my Fearproof Academy. This is our community when we talk about fear. This is where we fight fear together, so you don't have to do it alone, like many of the heroes I was talking about today. You can also join my newsletter to get a free gift, like Fearproof Challenge Generator. It is also in the description. And if you are interested in why I'm grateful for this channel failing, check this video right here. So yeah, stay fearproof.